Hello students, I hope that everyone is fine at home. Today in chemistry, we are going to start with the second chapter for this academic year, that is study of compound. Just to make you aware, in study of compounds, we have 4 different compounds, out of which 3 are acids and 1 is a base. The first chapter of study of compounds which we are going to cover, or the first compound, would be hydrogen chloride and hydrochloric acid. Both are represented as HCl. If HCl is written in the gaseous form, it is hydrogen chloride gas, and if it is written as a liquid state, then it is a hydrochloric acid. Second compound would be ammonia, third compound would be nitric acid, and the fourth compound would be sulfuric acid. So from this section of study of compounds, every year they have asked a question in which they have given a diagram, and they have asked the question on method of preparation, and 2 or 3 reactions from this part come in section A under the section of completing the equations or balancing the equation or converting a word equation into a chemical equation. We had already initiated with the completion of equation part in 9th standard. We had also done conversion of word equation into a chemical equation and then balancing it. Again, this year, in the later half of the academic part, I'll be covering it again. In this chapter, I'm going to focus on laboratory preparation of hydrogen chloride gas, then experiments to show density and solubility of hydrogen chloride gas. How does hydrogen chloride gas react with ammonia? Now please remember, HCl is an acid, whereas ammonia is a base. So basically we are going to discuss about the neutralization reaction. Then will be method of preparation of hydrochloric acid. There is a special arrangement made for this, and if you observe the last 10-year question very well, at least 3 or 4 times either laboratory preparation of hydrogen chloride gas is asked, or they have asked method of preparation of hydrochloric acid. They don't have to learn it in a long form of question. This particular question is based on your stepwise learning. I'll be discussing that. Next thing we would be studying is acidic properties of its solution, that is hydrochloric acid, and we'll terminate the chapter by learning precipitation reaction with silver nitrate and lead nitrate solution. We have learned both neutralization and precipitation. Just to recall, we have done this in 9th standard and 8th standard as well, that there's a reaction called as double displacement reaction, in which we have 2 types of reaction. One is neutralization reaction, that is when an acid reacts with a base, it gives salt and water, whereas when 2 compounds interchange their cation and an insoluble salt is formed, the reaction is called as precipitation reaction. The insoluble salt which is formed is called as the precipitate. Now we are going to start our chapter with laboratory preparation of HCl. Now you can clearly see the reactants which we require for this laboratory preparation is NaCl. We can use any chloride salt, but as NaCl is easily available and cheap, therefore we use NaCl in the preparation of hydrogen chloride gas. Second would be concentrated sulfuric acid. Why not concentrated nitric acid? It is because concentrated nitric acid is volatile in nature, as well as it is an oxidizing acid. I've not mentioned that it is an oxidizing acid in the presentation, because the genuine answer is it is a volatile acid. Just for you to recall, volatile acids are those which boils under 100 degrees Celsius. Now the temperature required to be maintained for this reaction would be above 200 degrees Celsius. Sorry, the temperature would be below 200 degrees Celsius. Now why? Because when the reaction takes place, the reaction would be NaCl plus H2SO4 will give me Na2SO4 plus 2HCl. Now this compound which is formed, Na2SO4, forms a hard crust and sticks to the glass, and it is difficult to remove, and the further reaction may stop. Now suppose I have a round bottom flask in which I am performing the experiment, and if this Na2SO4 sticks here, this will not allow the heat to enter into the reaction and the reaction would stop. And that's the reason we do not heat the temperature above 200 degrees Celsius. Second thing is, the glass apparatus may tend to break, and third thing is the fuel is wasted. So this part can be asked in the form of a question. The question will be, why is the temperature of the reaction maintained below 200 degrees Celsius? The reason is, above 200 degrees Celsius, Na2SO4 forms a hard crust which sticks to the glass and is difficult to remove. The glass apparatus may tend to break and the fuel is also wasted. Now, when the temperature is kept below 200 degrees Celsius, the reaction would be NaCl plus H2SO4. On the arrow, please mention less than 200 degrees Celsius. The product would be NaHSO4 plus HCl. Here this sodium hydrogen sulfate or sodium carbonate does not stick to the wall of the container. And the second step, you will get one more molecule of HCl. So at every step you are getting one molecule of HCl. Please remember, you are getting hydrogen chloride gas. Do not mention here or do not make a mistake of writing hydrochloric acid, because when this gas is dissolved in water by a special arrangement, it becomes or it turns to hydrochloric acid. Now the gas which is obtained in this reaction is not completely pure. So for purification purpose, we use a drying agent, that is H2SO4. Why don't we use calcium oxide or phosphorus pentaoxide as a drying agent? The reason here again is, when calcium oxide reacts with HCl, it forms calcium chloride, which is again an insoluble salt. So your HCl gets wasted again or gets converted into a different form. Similarly with phosphorus pentaoxide, that is P2O5, HCl reacts and forms hypophosphoric acid and phosphorus oxychloride. These compounds again waste the HCl which is prepared. So HCl can be only purified by a drying agent, which is sulfuric acid. And you have to remember this, sulfuric acid acts as a drying agent as well as dehydrating agent. Therefore sulfuric acid is known as the king of chemicals. We'll be doing sulfuric acid separately, but here you have to remember few things about sulfuric acid. First thing is, sulfuric acid is dibasic in nature. What do you have dibasic? It can donate 2 H ions. Therefore it is dibasic in nature. Here in the laboratory preparation, you can see this is the laboratory setup for preparation of HCl. In the round bottom flask, we are going to take NaCl. With the help of this Thistle funnel, we are going to add HCl slowly. If you see the diagram very carefully, the Thistle funnel is dipped inside the solution. Why it is so? The reason is, if you keep the Thistle funnel above the solution, the hydrogen chloride gas which is formed may escape through this Thistle funnel. If you enlarge the screen, you can clearly see that it is tightly fitted with a rubber cork. From the tube, the hydrogen chloride gas passes into a beaker which contains sulfuric acid. Now this sulfuric acid will act as a drying agent. Whatever moisture is there in the hydrogen chloride gas will be absorbed by by H2SO4, and pure hydrogen chloride gas will pass through this tube into an empty gas jar. Now the method of collecting HCl is called as upward displacement of air. Now as we know that hydrogen chloride gas is heavier than air, therefore upward displacement of air is used in this method. In this presentation, you can clearly see when NaCl reacts with H2SO4 and the temperature is below 200 degrees Celsius, the product formed is sodium hydrogen sulfate or sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate plus HCl gas. When the temperature is above 200 degrees Celsius, the product formed is Na2SO4 plus HCl. But this HCl is not easily obtained because Na2SO4, that is sodium sulfate, forms a sticky mass, dense mass, which sticks to the wall of the container, and the further production of HCl stops. Now, what are the precautions required for laboratory preparation of HCl? The first precaution would be maintaining the temperature below 200 degrees Celsius. Second would be lower end of the Thystel funnel should be dipped in the acid in the flask. Now, as I have told you, that the question may be asked, like 3 or 4 questions may be asked, or a 5 question may be asked from this. What are types of question? Whatever I have taught you, I'll tell you what are the types of questions which are asked from this section. The first question may be, name the reactants used in the preparation of hydrogen chloride gas. Second question will be, write the equation for the preparation of hydrogen chloride gas. Third would be, they would give you a diagram and they would ask you to level the parts. Like for in the Thystel funnel, they may give you A. I'll show the question type. Here they may ask you what is A, what is this B, and what is this C, and what is this D. They may ask you to level those parts. Now you know A would be sodium chloride, B would be sulfuric acid, C again would be sulfuric acid, D would be hydrogen chloride gas. They may ask you what is the role of hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid in this reaction. Now please remember, sulfuric acid is a reagent as well as a drying reagent. Why I said reagent and drying reagent? Because it is used in the preparation of HCl as well as it is used to remove the water vapor present in the hydrogen chloride gas. Third, what precautions are necessary for preparation of hydrogen chloride gas? The precautions necessary are, the first one, the temperature should be maintained below 200 degrees Celsius. Second would be, the Thystel funnel should be dipped inside the acid. Third question would be, why is the temperature maintained below 200 degrees Celsius? Again you can write down, when the temperature is above 200 degrees Celsius, sodium sulfate is formed, which forms a sticky mass on the glass of the container, which stops the further reaction. Second thing is, the glass apparatus may tend to break. And third is, fuel is wasted. Next question they may ask you is, name the method by which HCl is collected. Your answer would be upward displacement of air, as it is heavier than air. The reverse question can also be asked, why is HCl collected by upward displacement of air? Two things. Please remember, HCl is highly soluble in water. Therefore, HCl cannot be collected over water. If you have learned in 9th standard, if you remember, we collected hydrogen gas over water by downward displacement of water. But we cannot use downward displacement of water in case of HCl because HCl is highly soluble in water. Second thing is, it is heavier than air, therefore it is collected by upward displacement of air. How can you identify? Now question arises, how can you identify that the given gas is HCl? You have to perform a simple experiment. We have performed this in 9th standard. That is a test for ammonia as well as for HCl, and that's vice versa the test. If you are testing HCl gas, take a glass rod, dip it in ammonia solution, bring it near the jar which contains the gas. If there's a white dense fume, that means the gas in the jar is HCl. The reaction for this particular test can be written as HCl gas plus ammonia gas gives you ammonium chloride. Now please remember, in your lower classes 7th and 8th standard, we have done sublimate and sublimation. Now ammonium chloride is a sublimate. What is sublimate? The substance which directly changes from the solid state to the gaseous state or vice versa without going through a liquid state. And that's the reason while mentioning this test you have to mention white dense fumes of ammonium chloride. If you are writing the test, you have to write this equation also. HCl gas plus NH3 gas gives you NH4Cl. I hope that the things are clear and going smooth. Now, how can you prove that HCl gas is heavier than air? Take two gas jars. In one of the gas jar, keep a lighted candle. And in the second jar, take HCl gas. Invert the HCl gas jar over the gas jar which has burning candle. After some time, you will see that the candle goes off. The reason is, as air is lighter than HCl, HCl will come down and get collected near the candle, and air will go up. As this HCl gas stops the supply of oxygen to the candle goes off. And hence, this experiment or this demonstration proves that HCl gas is heavier than air. Now, this is interesting. Experiment to show that HCl gas is highly soluble in water, that is fountain experiment. This test can also be used to check the nature of the HCl gas. You can prove that it is acidic in nature. Take a round bottom flask. Everyone knows that this is a round bottom flask. In that flask, take HCl gas, cork it like this, place a water dropper here, and place a jet tube here. Now, what is jet tube? Jet tube will take the solution from the beaker into the jar. Now, your question may be, you may be confused, why I am placing a dropper here. Now, please remember, students, any gas does not indicate its basic or acidic properties. For us to know whether the gas is acidic or basic, we have to dissolve that gas in water. Once you put 1 or 2 drops of water inside the inverted round bottom flask, HCl gas converts into hydrochloric acid, and this hydrochloric acid will show reaction or will show indication with your indicator. Now, what are indicators? Substance is used to identify whether the given substance is acidic, basic or neutral. In this experiment, we are going to use blue litmus solution. You have taken blue litmus solution in the container. You have dipped the jet tube inside the blue litmus solution. You have HCl gas filled in this inverted round bottom flask. Once you put 2 or 3 drops of water, please remember 1 volume of HCl can dissolve approximately 350 volumes of HCl. This 1 or 2 drops of water will dissolve approximately 700 drops of HCl, or 700 equivalent volume of HCl, 700 volumes of HCl. If we take 1 drop as 1 volume, so for 2 or 3 drops we will have approximately 700 to 1000 volumes of HCl dissolved, due to which the pressure inside the flask will be reduced, and thus blue litmus will rise up in the jet tube. This blue litmus, when it is coming out from the jet tube, will be red in color, because we have learnt earlier also that red litmus turns blue in basic solution and blue litmus turns red in acidic solution. Now, the same experiment we are going to study in your next part of study of compounds, that is ammonia. In ammonia, instead of taking blue litmus here, we will take red litmus, and instead of red jet here, we will get blue jet. So guys, when you are doing fountain experiment, do it at the same time for both ammonia and HCl. The reaction and the apparatus remains the same, only the changes, you will have red litmus instead of blue litmus, and instead of red fountain you will get blue fountain. Now, this experiment shows that HCl is highly soluble in water, as well as it proves that HCl is acidic in nature. Now, some other times, if you have observed your board examination paper, the last year 10-year paper, this question is being asked in the board examination for 2 to 3 marks. They will give you either the leveling part, whatever questions are asked. Again, I am more precise while I am teaching this year. I will make sure that you are aware of the types of question asked, because when you study for yourself and when you do your self-study, at least you will have focus in your mind what to study, what to focus on more, and how to prepare notes. They may give you this leveling: A like this, B like this. Now your B is blue litmus solution, your A is HCl gas. That would be. Second question they may ask you, why is the color of the fountain red in the inverted round bottom flask? You may say that blue litmus turns red in acidic solution, therefore the fountain of the color changes from blue to red inside the inverted round bottom flask. I hope that the things are clear. Now, what does this experiment show? Here you can write down both the answers. This experiment or this apparatus shows that HCl is highly soluble in water, as well as it is acidic in nature. In the next class, in the next lecture, I am going to start with preparation of hydrochloric acid. Then the remaining portion which is there, we'll be taking it in the subsequent lecture. Today I have completed the laboratory preparation of hydrogen chloride gas. We have also done experiment to show density and solubility of a gas, that is hydrogen chloride gas, and we have done reaction of ammonia with HCl. If you remember, NH3 plus HCl gives you NH4Cl, that is ammonium chloride. So I hope guys that the things are very clear to you. In the next lecture, be prepared. We are going to take the method of preparation of hydrochloric acid, acidic properties of its solution, like 6 or 7 reactions, and then in the ending part we will have precipitation reaction with silver nitrate and lead nitrate. Thank you guys. Stay safe, help your parents, and enjoy learning. Thank you and have a great day.